What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Next Success. I'm Adam Bastian,
And I'm Skylar Beitendorp.
and today we're going to talk about integrity. We're kind of feeling a little bit mellow today. We were kind of talking right before this, and we were just like, man, like we feel good, and we're excited, but we're not like ready to bounce off the walls like I guess we have been in the past.
Yeah,
So,
little less energy, but still like
Same
feel
attitude.
feel good, but not quite as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, energy flowing through us.
Yeah, but I think it's a good topic to talk about with this kind of energy, feeling this way, which is integrity. So there's a lot about integrity that's important for me. I don't know. I guess integrity is humble. Would you say?
Yeah, being humble, being your word, being yeah. Like I was listening to a TED talk earlier today about integrity, and what they said was, I changed it a little bit. I just added in a little bit, but basically what it is it's kind of the definition, but integrity is aligning your actions with your words and beliefs. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like integrity is so important for in every area of our life, in your finances, in your dating life, or just relationships with every single person. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
with yourself, like more than anything else, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like if you say something, you're gonna do it. You're gonna stay true to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to be like that. Sometimes it's hard. It's hard to like do what you say. Like you say something, and then maybe a little bit afterwards, you're like, I don't really want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I know I promised this person I'd go out with them, or you know, or something little like that. And then the time comes where you're like, oh man, something changed. I don't really want to do that. You're like, I'm just having a hard time. I think I'm going to cancel. I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do that. Rather than doing what you told them in the first place. But I think when you say something, you're staying true to it, like you said, like your actions, aligning your actions with your words and beliefs. So don't do something, don't lie. Don't
Yeah.
lie about it.
That reminds me of a quote that I heard a long time ago. But it was like, and not that this necessarily has to do with integrity, but I'll tie it in a second. So it says, don't promise something when you're happy, don't reply when you're angry, and don't decide something when you're sad.
Hmm.
And I feel like,
It's pretty solid.
yeah, it's hard to, because like I want to be integrity. I want to be my word. Anything I say, if I tell you I'm going to do something or be somewhere, I'm going to do that.
You're
I'm
going
going
to
to
do
be there.
it. Eminem.
And I think where I get in trouble is I promise someone something when I'm just happy, feeling good, or I'm, emotions. I feel like sometimes we can overpromise what we're able to deliver, and I think a big part of it is knowing ourselves and what we have time for, and what we're capable of,
Mm-hmm.
and how much we can handle. That way, we don't have to renegotiate with those people in order to keep our integrity. Because I believe we can still, like, let's say I promised you something. I still believe if I need to change that, integrity would look like me coming to you and be like, hey Adam, I know I said I would do this, and I will be there,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd have something else I'd also love to be too. Can we change it, adjust it? And I think that's still being in integrity.
Yeah.
As long as I'm still willing to keep my commitment to you, I can still
Yeah.
adjust that. But
I agree.
yeah.
Well, it's like dating. It's like you go on a date with a person a few times, and but then it comes to a point where you're like, I really don't want them. It's like there's nothing like for me. It's like there's nothing wrong with them. I just don't want to be with them. Like I can see myself not going farther with them, right?
Right.
And at first where I'm like, yeah, let's go out, let's go hang out, let's go do something. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go see a movie. Let's go whatever. Let's go travel together. Let's go spend time. Um, but then like it changes, and then you realize it's not who you want to be with. And I think a part of that is staying true to yourself, and like when you realize that and recognize it, going to them and telling them, hey, I don't think this is going to work out between us, and this is why. Not just breaking it off just because, like, I guess not breaking it off and not giving them a reason why. And sometimes they don't need to know why, but I think in a lot of cases it always helps when you give them the reason and you kind of go more in depth about it. But I think that's a big part of being integritous is I don't know, seeing other people as people and not just as objects or things that will help you succeed.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like to constantly be in integrity. Like if I tell you I want to do this podcast with you and we do a couple episodes and then later down the road I'm like, I don't really want to do this anymore, like I'm done. Like I would be out of integrity by not telling you that,
Right.
or not telling someone you're dating that you don't want to date anymore.
Right, because I'd be thinking one thing while you'd be thinking the other. I'm like, this is great. We're having a good time, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, Skylar's awesome. We're doing good. He likes me a lot. But in reality, we get together and you're like, man, Adam, oh man,
Can't wait for this to be over.
it's like, I just got to get a few more, and then hopefully it will just die out and he just doesn't get excited anymore about it. So you're like, oh, frick, you know? And
Yeah.
I imagine that's how it would be. But it's like being straight up with people and be honest with them. So
Yeah. And like I feel like after a while, I can tell when people don't want to be around, or they're not as enthusiastic about something, or they just stop putting in effort. And for the record, I do enjoy doing this podcast. This is a lot of fun.
Likewise.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's kind of weird. I mean, I work in corrections right now, and I've thought about it in the past year and stuff. I've thought a lot about this kind of stuff the past couple of weeks. It's been kind of a weird couple of weeks in my job. Just a lot of weird things have happened. A lot of crazy things have happened that I've had to deal with, and it kind of messes up with your brain. Like it just messes your brain up. See, I even like said it wrong. Messes up with your brain, but
It's
but like
true.
it just jacks you up. Like you start thinking weird. You start feeling weird. Freak, dude.
It's all good.
See, it's another. See,
It's your job.
one of those days, real weird, and but it's like, what kind of person do I want to be? Like, I'm around people who are like they've done horrible things, and in a lot of cases, they're like horrible to be around. Like, I get made fun of and yelled at like every day. You know, like someone tried to pee on me once. Like,
Crap.
you know, like these
Adult people.
yeah, like adults. You know, and these are the people that I'm around every day, and I think about it a lot. Like, just because they treat me like that, like how am I going to treat them? You know, it's like I have my moral code, I guess, that I've made for myself. And will I break it because of my job? Because I get treated this way? Because I can be justified, you know, with air quotes, justified in doing it because they did that to me. But my job is, I think you need to stay true to what you believe in, because it's easy to get jaded and like change who you are because of the job.
Yeah.
You get dark and cynical very fast.
Yeah. So like, it's like being in integrity at all times in all environments. Because I think sometimes we do justify, or like I've justified myself. Sometimes it's like, oh, this person, they didn't keep their promise, so now I don't have to keep my promise, or so and so didn't pay me like the $20 I let them borrow, so I don't have to pay this person the $20, and or just things like that. It's like, it doesn't matter what happens, always be in integrity. And I feel like that just being integrity is almost just like being true to yourself and your beliefs, and who you really are, not changing who you are around different people. Just being real.
That's a good one. Don't change around other people. I feel like I feel like we've all done that. I've done that, especially growing up.
Too.
You know, you're around a certain crowd and you act a certain way, and then you're around a different crowd and you act a certain way. And so it's like, and then you're by yourself and you act a completely different way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, who are you?
Exactly.
You know, are you the...
Well, and I feel like those are the people that I don't really trust. being a different person in different situations creates a lot of distrust.
They call that two-faced, right?
Yeah.
Two-faced or 3, 4, 5-faced. I don't know.
Well, and I think integrity, being like lacking integrity, will affect every single area of your life. It'll affect your relationships. It'll affect your bank account. It'll affect like the opportunities that come into your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I know someone's that like does not keep their promises, if I have to constantly wonder if they're going to show up, I'm not going to suggest that they come and work at the job I work at. I'm not going to bring them to like a friend group or a party or something because I know however they are is going to kind of reflect back onto me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to bring people in that are going to, I don't know. It sounds kind of dumb. Not necessarily like make me look bad, but
like bring you down.
Yeah, bring me down or.
I mean, I think we should care about our image.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't say we shouldn't be obsessed with our like status quo, or is that the right word? Like status. Yeah, or like like how people view us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we shouldn't be obsessed with our image and stuff, but we should be aware of it.
Yeah.
You know, because ultimately the way people see us is the way they're going to treat us.
Yeah, like
you know.
I'm close to someone who owns a business, and I'll recommend people that can like go work for him every once in a while. And I feel really dumb when I recommend someone. I'm like, oh, they're great. They'll totally be there, and then they don't show up, or they don't call back, or text back, or whatever. And I'm like, seriously? You're kind of like
Mhm.
making it look like all my resources are just unreliable. And
It's like Courage the Cowardly Dog. What's that? Eustace? He's like, stupid dog, you make me look bad. And then, you know.
I remember that.
But I think in that case, he was just a cynical old, just grumpy dude. Yeah, I don't think he had.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, I mean, like, if you're out if you're not in integrity, if you don't have it, I don't think you'll have as many opportunities in life, and ultimately you'll just be lacking
yeah,
in a lot of areas.
I think people will want you. You know, if you have integrity, more people want to be around you. You're easy to
Yeah, like
to flow with.
yeah, and I think people sometimes like I definitely appreciate the honesty that like someone with integrity has. Like if I'm like, hey, do you like this coat? And a friend is like, oh, like if they don't like it and they're like, yeah, it looks great, it's fine or whatever. I straight up think that is lying. Like if you think one
Yeah.
thing and just say it's fine or it's okay or whatever, if that's not the truth, that's a lie. And I would much rather, and I'm sure a lot of other people would too, someone say, actually, I don't think that coat looks good on you. Don't buy it. Or, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I would much rather take someone who's kind of brutally honest while also being like mindful of people's feelings, but
Right.
over someone who just like kind of lies, like those little white lies.
Mm-hmm. When do you feel like you've like? I mean, how do I phrase this question? I guess I'll just ask it straight up. Do you
Yeah.
feel like you have integrity?
I feel like I have pretty good integrity. Yeah, like Skylar, would you brag for a second? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I asked you.
No, yeah. I feel like I
Just wanna
have
know what you think.
yeah, I think I have integrity. And I think it is yeah, I don't know. Like I do my best to like if I owe someone money, I pay them back every single time. Like I had a friend earlier this year, we went to California and she fronted some money and we were just going to settle up all at the end and it just took forever and actually not everyone ever said what all they bought and divided it, but I knew I owed her money. It was like $90. So it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, I was like, hey, I think about this every single day. I'm just going to pay you. And if so-and-so doesn't want to like settle up, that's totally fine. It's their money. So if they don't want to, great. But I want to pay you. So like, yeah, if I owe someone money, I always pay them. If I tell someone I'm going to be there, I'm there. And if for some reason I can't, I'll like text them or call them or renegotiate a time that we can, I don't know, just reschedule
That's good.
to stay in integrity.
Do you feel like you've always been like that?
Um,
Like, what got you to the point to be like that? Or have you just always been like that since you were born
I
as a
think
child?
I think a lot of it has to do with how I was raised and what my parents' values were. I can remember my dad telling stories about people that didn't pay him back, and he was like, "Yeah, these people didn't pay me back. Those SOBs." I was like, "Man, I never want to be an SOB." So yeah,
That's
I think
funny.
it just kind of group made that. I don't know. I just got used to the
So you saw an example, like your father or your parents were examples for you, and
yeah,
then that helped
exactly.
you be like that as you grew up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never wanted to be that guy that people talked about and were like, "Oh, yeah, he doesn't pay
Yeah,
his
oh,
debts.
Skylar,
He's always late."
couch potato,
Like never be that person.
undriven,
Never be that person.
ungrateful.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. But like, never be that person that someone has to say the party starts at 7, so you'll get there at 7:30. Or wait, no.
Oh yeah,
Wait.
someone tells you it starts at 7
Yeah, but it really starts at 7:30,
because they're like,
so you'll actually show up on time. Like,
yeah,
or that's not a great example because I show up late to parties because I feel like everyone does. I don't know. I feel like I show up on time more than not. But a better example would be if we're all going on a vacation. We're like, "Hey, we're gonna pack up at 5:30, leave by 6." Don't be that person that you have to tell them, "Yeah, we're packing up at 4:30 so we can leave by 5:30 or something."
right, right, because they're like, Skylar's just gonna be late, so we have to make him think. So
Yeah.
they lie to you just so yeah,
To get you just to have
gotcha.
integrity.
No, I agree that would be a sucky place to be in.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
don't
like,
know.
I mean, but I think some people stay in that, you know, like,
Yeah.
and I think a big part of that is I personally believe that we have a responsibility just as human beings to help each other out. Like
Yeah.
if there's a problem happening or we see a problem, and especially in someone we're close with, a friend, a family member, like even maybe just someone we meet and have a small chat with, in public. I think we have a responsibility in most cases to say something if something is wrong. And I think, and I firmly believe that you can say almost anything to anybody if you say it the right way. Like I was thinking about it yesterday. I was at work and one of the officers there, they were just like, they're like, man, Officer Bastion, they're like, you always have something good to say about somebody. And I was like, huh. I was like, I do? I was like, oh, I mean, I guess that's true. And I was thinking about it on the ride home, and my mom used to say this, and I don't know who else. I think her parents said it to her. I don't know, but she said this to us way too much growing up that it just like it is in our brains and it will never leave. And she just said, if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. And and so a lot of times I'll be like, someone will really irritate me, and I'm like, oh. And then my mom will come into my brain, Adam, if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. And I'm like, dang it. I'm like, and then I'll stop and I'll go, okay. Well, maybe I don't like them, and maybe I don't like what they're doing, but I can always talk to them. And a lot of times that will stop me from saying something that will hurt a relationship, and I'll just start, and then I'll just get to know about them, and I'll learn something cool about them, and I'll just kind of latch onto that and kind of dig deeper and deeper, and I don't know. And then they're like, man, Adam's a cool dude. Like, I don't know. And then I always have something good to say because I think, I don't know, because my initial reaction isn't, this guy's annoying. Let me tell him he's stupid,
Yeah.
Let me tell him he's wrong. And yeah, Mama Bastion, good woman.
If you don't have something nice to say,
Yeah,
don't say anything.
yeah,
Yeah, my mom definitely said that too. And I agree with it. And I also,
moms.
yeah, I think like it's also situational because like if I'm in a heated argument with someone, then yeah, it's kind of better to not say anything until it'll cool down. Um, but what if the truth isn't necessarily nice or quote unquote nice.
That's what I think. It's the way you say it. You know.
Like, what if you don't like hanging out with
Well,
somebody?
it's like you said. What did you say earlier? Uh, Something about saying something in anger,
Oh,
or
yeah,
what is
never.
that?
I deleted the
I feel
tab.
like that answers your question.
Yeah, it was like never make a promise. Never make a promise when you're happy, and never. This isn't exactly it, but never. Oh, I'm just gonna find it, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I believe that, like I said earlier, I firmly believe that you can say almost anything to anybody or correct them in any way if you're in the right mindset, and it's all about the way you bring it up. Like you got to be tactful with it. You can't just
Yeah,
like but I don't know, you bring it up in love, you bring it up in compassion, and rather than hate and spite. Like people will listen. Like they may not like it, but they'll know that you love them and they'll know that you care about them.
I think when it comes from that space of love, people pick up on that.
Mm-hmm.
You, if it really is from love and just wanting to be honest, and like they feel that. I've felt that when people are just like brutally honest with me.
Yeah.
It's like they're not doing this to bash me or to tear me down. It's just it's out of love.
Yeah. It's like if there was something I didn't like about you, which there's not. But
Mm.
let's say like I don't know, maybe if I had to bring something like while I served a mission, I was a zone leader for a while, and there was quite a few times I had to like correct people in the way that they were acting, or and even now, I mean, my job is corrections for Pete's sake, you know. Like I caught a dude, he had like pornography in his room, and super like minor, it just showed like a little nipple. But then I look at this guy's record, he's a sex offender and stuff, and I'm like, and I was just gonna let it slide. I was like, okay, it's just a naked chick, and it sounds bad, but like it's just a naked chick. Like inmates, they're alone all the time. They don't see girls, and a lot of them have pictures of of women, but it's not very. They usually hide the naked pictures until you find them and charge them for it. But like this was just posted on his wall, and I took it down, and he comes down to me, and I was like, I told him, I said, listen, man, and I showed him the picture, and I was like, I found this in your like posted on your wall in your cell. And I was like, you can't have this. I was like, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to write you up for it. And he's like, and then he gets really mad. He's like, well, that's stupid. He's like, I can't believe you're doing that to me. Like that's. He's like, you serious? I got that from a magazine, and I was like, there's no magazine that you can get in prison that will have naked chicks in it. And he was getting pretty mad, and I was getting flustered because he was screaming at me, and then I was getting pretty stern with him. And I was like, you know what? I was like, go away, go back to your cell, chill out, and come back to me later today, and we can talk about it. And so he comes back later that day, and he's like, Officer Bastion, I don't. And he brings me like his court documents. He brings me like magazines. He brings me like letters. He like the whole works he brought me to show me. And he's like, and I stood my ground, and I was like, and I let him show me his documents. I let him show me his court case, and he says, this is gonna ruin my court case. This is gonna ruin this all because of this charge. Why don't you just let it slide? And I'm like, listen, if I let this slide, what else am I gonna let slide in the future? I was like, something as small as this. And I was like, and I was just gonna let it go, but I was like, based on your charges while you're in here, I can't. I was like, it doesn't feel right to me. I was like, if you really want to get better, I was like, what is that showing the court? What is that show? Like, what is, you know? I was like, are you really changing if that's on your wall? If you really want to teach them and show them that you're gonna get better and like succeed and overcome this problem that you're having, like, what is that? What is that showing other people? And I was like, if I let this slide, I'm putting myself at jeopardy to let something bigger slide later. And I was like, and you just screwed up. I was like, that's what you did. And we screw up all the time. But I was like, you can take this one of two ways. You could be upset. You can get pissed. And you can just let this tear you down, or you can take this as a learning experience and change from it. And I was like, it sucks. And I'm not going to change my decision for you. I'm not going to drop the charges. I'm still going to charge you with it. But this is your decision how you're going to go about it. And I don't know, I think I could have handled that. I think I handled it pretty well. The other officers were, because I've only been doing it for like a year, but the other officers were impressed that I was able to talk to them and like not be a jerk about it. But like with something like that, like if you can bring that up to somebody, it's something that could potentially ruin them getting out of prison, for a while, and like their date and everything. Like you can bring up anybody, like anything with anybody, if you bring it up the right way and if you're in the right mindset,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And I guess in that story I stuck with, I had integrity for what I believed in about, there's a rule, you stick with it. Because if you break a little rule, you're at risk of breaking a big rule later. But
yeah, it's like lying. Like once I start a lie, I have to tell another lie to cover it up, another lie to cover it up. It gets easier and easier.
mm-hmm.
Like if I make a promise to myself, I'm going to work out, and I don't work out, I'm like, dang it. And that hurts. I think that hurts our self-confidence a little bit. But then the next day, if I do that again and again and again, it gets easier and easier to not be in integrity and to break those promises because I'm so used to doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's the first step to like being in integrity is being it with yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's just like if you don't love yourself, you can't love someone else.
Right.
If you're not in integrity with yourself, how are you gonna keep promises to other people if you can't keep a promise to yourself to do a quick workout every day? Or it's just an example. But
did you find that quote?
I did.
Nice. What was
it? Yeah. Don't promise when you're happy. Don't reply when you're angry. And don't decide when you're sad. It's just those are a lot of emotions in there. So it's like don't make promises when you're feeling good and you feel like you can conquer the world, because later you probably won't be feeling that way. And if it's not a promise that, I don't know, like you got to keep it.
Do you think like emotions can, like, how do I phrase this? Do you think emotions can play with our integrity?
Yeah.
Like I guess after reading that, I'm like, maybe.
They can. I think it depends on who you are and like how long, because I think integrity is kind of like a muscle. Like you got to work on it, and you got to like the more you have integrity, and the more you promise yourself things and you keep those promises, you're gonna just always be able to do it no matter what. So I think it depends on how long you've been strengthening that muscle.
We're trying to.
Yeah. So I think it can. Just depends on who you are and where you're at in your own personal journey.
So I guess like it's like just being in control of yourself. Being able to make a promise that you can stick to. It takes a lot, I guess, self-control.
Yeah.
Being able to like reprimand somebody or correct somebody in the right mindset and calmly, I guess, requires a lot of self-control. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it now, but
yeah, because there's self-control and there's self-discipline. I think self-control.
What's the difference?
The difference is self-control is doing the things you don't. Okay, hold on. Let me gather my thoughts. So, self-control is not doing the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. Self-discipline is doing the things you know you should be doing, and they're two different muscles. Like if every day you know you need to be working out, and you do it, that's building your self-discipline one. But if every day you're not supposed to be eating that donut, that's a different muscle. That's self-control, like controlling yourself from not doing the things you know you shouldn't.
I've never heard that before. That's pretty dope.
Thanks. Yeah. So they're different. Practice them both, but yeah, self-control and discipline, they play a part in being able to be your word and keep your word.
Yeah, it makes me wonder where I'm at on that. Like, do I have self-control? Do I have self-discipline? And my answer to that is I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people don't know exactly where they're at on that, and because it's not really something you can like write out and necessarily measure.
Right.
So I think I don't know. I feel like we can do things to test ourselves, like if we have that or not. Like you could wake up one day, you're going to go to a party and be like, "Hey, at this party, I'm gonna not do this or do that."
Nice.
Nice. We just had the heater kick on, so that'll turn off in a second. But
Because it's like 20 degrees outside or something.
yeah, it's been so cold in
Freaking
Utah
crazy.
lately. But yeah, I think we could build that muscle by starting, like, make a promise to yourself, something you can keep, and then at the end of the day, you can just pat yourself on the back, know you did it, and do that every single day.
Yeah, I like that. I think just to kind of, I don't know, to like sum up integrity, at least for me, kind of what you said is just like integrity's, like having integrity is a muscle. Like being integritous. I think that's the word, integritous.
Yeah. I was looking for that earlier, but I was like, is that the word? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but like that's, I mean, it takes time. Like, and I guess there's always something we can work on with it. And so every day, like you can't go from, like I guess the opposite of having integrity is being dishonest, or like this one says here, division. So being divided. So if you're divided within yourself, how can you stay true to yourself, But having integrity, you stay true to what you believe in, and all the pieces are together. And just like a puzzle comes together piece by piece, we can't expect to have ourselves together in one day. Like it takes a piece at a time to get there.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you believe two things, you believe nothing. So you can't.
Oh, snap.
If you believe
Never thought about that.
Yeah. And if you believe in nothing, then how can you be in integrity? How can you move forward in life if you don't even know what you believe?
There was a quote. Oh, man. There was a quote written, like painted on the wall at the prison that I saw yesterday at work. And it was something like, oh, I can't remember. It was like, if you don't have anything to strive for, or man, I have no idea. It was like if you have plans for nothing, you'll fall for everything, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Wait. If you have plans for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah, it was something like that.
If you have plans for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Yeah, it's kind of like if you don't know where you're going, then you'll just, wherever the wind takes you, that's where you're going to be.
Yeah, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. Like, I don't know. And just like what you said, like if you believe in, what'd you say?
If you believe in two things, you believe in nothing.
Yeah, maybe not just two things, but two sides of a thing.
Right. Yeah. Because yeah, obviously we have a lot of different beliefs about a lot of different things. But like, if I believe it's good to work out, and I also believe it's good to, I don't know, to not work out. That's not a great example. I don't know if you can think of one. But like, or like maybe someone's like not sure if they believe in God.
Not being a fence sitter,
Yeah.
Don't sit on the fence. Like, pick a side and go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, choose it.
And like commit to that, because there's very few things in life that are permanent. So like if you're not sure if you believe in something, just pick something, commit to something, check that out. If you feel that's not right, then go to the other side. And I'm not pushing like God or anything onto anyone. I believe in God, but call it the universe, call it the energy around us, whatever. But like it's like if someone doesn't believe in God, or they're not sure they believe in God, maybe they just believe we're all just here because there's a big bang or whatever. It's like you believe in nothing then, because you don't even know what you believe. So it's like, figure it out, because then you can actually move forward with more surety of yourself.
Right.
Because you know what you believe.
It's like tug of war.
Yeah.
You got to pick a side.
Tug of war with yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're pulling the middle of the rope, you're not really going anywhere, right? You're not going to one side or the other. Like if you're pulling on both sides, like you're in the middle of it and you're pulling like to the right and the left, you're not moving because you're like, I believe in this side, but I also believe in this side. So then you're in the middle, just kind of like teetering back and forth. But if you choose one side, you can pull the rope completely to that side.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not being a fence sitter, you know? Like don't sit on the fence expecting your life to be grand and expecting to like do great things and to progress and get better. You have to choose one side and then that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that side is on I mean, I just use this like generally, but like the good side or the bad side. Like at least if you're on the bad side, you'll be doing good and doing bad, you know?
Yeah.
You'll be getting better at that. And if you're on the good side, you'll be getting better at doing good. And so, but choose a side and make it happen. Preferably the good side.
Yeah.
That's what, that's what I'm striving to choose.
Because like there's no growth on the fence. There's you like I learn nothing when I'm on the fence of something. When I commit to something and actually go and like, okay, this is gonna be in my life. This is how I'm gonna live or what I'm gonna do now. Then I actually learn whether it's good or not good for me personally in my life. Like if it adds or takes away. But if when I'm on the fence, I don't learn that. And maybe I could figure it out, but I think it takes twice as long. So just committing to a side, to committing to something, you'll learn and move forward in life way faster than if you're just debating on what to do. So
yeah, it's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Now I'm stuck here thinking like, what side am I on? Am I on the fence? Am I holding the fence? Am I even thinking about getting on the fence? You know, like where am I at? Where do I want to stay true in my life?
Yeah, I think like there's things I'm on the fence with, and there's other things I'm not.
Right.
So, just got to figure out one thing at a time. And the faster you can do that, the better.
And I guess this plays into integrity because, well, I don't guess, but I think it plays into integrity because I guess if you're in the middle, if you're unsure, it's hard to have integrity. But if you choose a side and you stick to it, you have that kind of core moral code or core values that you're in there, or that are inside you, and then any decision that you make is easier to follow through with because you believe in it. And so, and going back to the thing you said earlier, integrity is aligning your actions with your words and your beliefs.
I was about to, I pulled that up. I was about to read it because it was exactly what you're talking about.
So, if you believe like strongly in something, like your words are going to follow with it, and then you're going to act upon it. And so the likelihood of you following through and doing it every time is so much higher than if you were on the fence or on one side wishing you were on the other side.
So basically, the better we know ourselves and what we want out of life, it's a lot easier to have integrity, because then we know our beliefs. We know, I don't know, like we believe what do we say. We know what we want to do. When we're in that space, it's easy to say yes to things. It's easy to say no to things. It's easy to do the things that are important to us.
So I would urge, I think we both would urge, I urge myself and Skylar and all of you to be men and women of integrity. Like have that. And if you don't have it, which I don't feel like I have it completely, but strive to get it. So every day, try to have integrity. And if you mess up, that's okay, but try again.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about, I know like we don't have a ton of time left, but let's talk about messing up for a second, because I feel like a lot of people think that messing up means you're starting back at zero. And it doesn't mean that. Messing up just means, so like if you look at it like a graph, it's like if the stock market goes up, it goes up one step. For those who like are listening, you can't really see, but just imagine a graph. And if one day you do something that you believe in, it goes up one, like you kept your integrity.
It's a spike.
Like go up a level. Yeah. And then let's say you did 10 days where you were integrity, and then maybe you total lie or didn't show up on time or whatever, it only goes down 1 point, not to the like the flat line. So let's just remember that when you mess up, no matter what it is, you're not starting from zero, because look at all this growth that happened.
Yeah. And I personally believe that sometimes you do have to mess up and make a big mistake to get higher,
Yeah.
to get farther.
Messing up is the stepping stone to achieving what you want, to success, to getting to where you want to be.
Stepping stone of success.
Like,
Jacob.
expect to fail a couple times. Like in snowboard, like when I love snowboarding, and I always tell myself, if I'm not falling, I'm not pushing myself hard enough, or I'm not not pushing my limits. There's no growth if I'm not falling, because I'm just doing what I'm good at instead of expanding myself. So yeah, failure, like if you mess up, that's okay. That just means you're getting better.
You're stretching yourself.
And I know a lot of people that will tell you that same thing. So,
well, cool.
Well,
I think that's I think we summed it up pretty well. I feel pretty good about our conversation. It's made me think a lot about my own position in my life, like as regards to relationships and my job, and my spiritual well-being, and like where am I at, and where do I want to be, and am I really following through on the things that I said I would?
Mm-hmm.
Integrity is a hard thing to have, especially now. I think in today's life, today's world, social media, with everything going on, I feel like we're just taught to say one thing to let people believe it, because then we'll benefit from it. Like benefit from other people's failures or benefit from other people's hurt.
Yeah. Agreed. And I would add, the last thing is, if you're not in integrity 100% of the time, then it's almost like you don't have any. It's like I'm faithful to my spouse 99% of the time. It's like, then you're not faithful at all.
Yep.
So it's like, just make a decision today. Like what I say, that's what's happening. What I tell myself I'm going to do, I'm going to do it. And
Eminem.
Does he say that?
Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
It's just in one of his songs.
Yeah, you have to show me that song after.
Because I go, oh yeah.
Heard it. Yeah, I probably
like,
will be like, oh, I heard that.
That's funny.
Okay, well, we're gonna wrap it up right there. Unless you have any last words. I think you just said your last words.
I'm solid.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys, to our 4th episode of Next Success. If you got any value out of this, please feel free to share it to your friends, family, anyone you think could hear this. And if you have any questions for us, or or have any recommendations, we'd love feedback and all that. You can reach out to us on social media. Both of us are on Facebook, Instagram.
I still don't have a profile picture on Instagram, but that will come soon.
Yeah, we're
it's a work in progress.
Progress. I've had my Instagram for a long time, so there's a profile picture.
You go, follow Skylar.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.